Namaskar, friends. This is NJ, your host on this channel. So, friends, in most of the Indian spiritual communities and circle, it is being discussed that how does a 19-year-old boy perform one of the most difficult Vedic rituals for 50 days without interruption? Now, how does a teenager memorize thousands of mantras, maintain purity, discipline, and precision, something that hasn't been accomplished in nearly 200 years? So that actually drove me that, okay, I need to talk about that on my astrology community. Because, friends, I was very much sure that just because I make regular videos on weekly horoscope, monthly analysis. So I'm always keeping a track on the planets. So I was very hopeful that it's a very spiritual alignment, like Saturn being in the Pisces sign, Rahu and Ketu, especially Ketu being in the Leo. And Jupiter is also exalted at a time when this news is being circulated. So I just thought that there must have been something like this rise of someone of very elevated, very enlightened spiritual status is going to happen. And then this news came to everyone's attention. So then I just thought that as a part of my tribute to this prodigy, this blessed soul, we need to talk about that. And obviously, friends, like my objective with this discussion, this presentation is very simple. First, to give tribute to his feat, to his achievement, and second is to look at the probable astrological alignments, like what kind of horoscope creates such a rare Vedic prodigy. So today we are not doing his real chart because his birth details are not public, but we are doing something even more fascinating: astrological guesswork based on his talents, achievements, past life karmas, and the classical signature of great Vedic scholars. Because, friends, 2025 has been good, and I'm sure 2026 will be much more pure. But like back in 2024, when Rahu was in the Pisces, a lot of the fear mongering happened. I do not know how come suddenly all the horror podcast, all those rubbish astrological spiritual remedies were being circulated so much, and especially amongst the Hindi Indian podcast series. And who gets affected? The gullible and emotional believers, like who follow content on social media and start doing the remedies because they have faith. So I mean to say, now planets are perfectly aligned, and with the feat and the achievement of this person, on and off, those news come that in a spelling bee contest, a young kid won. He is of Asian descent, origin, this and that. So if we have to celebrate that, we have to celebrate this person as well. And obviously, because my community is of astrology, spirituality, I'm sure all of you have very strong interest in this field. So discussing his achievements, celebrating his achievements, guessing his astrological alignment, which could be responsible for that, is somehow important for us. So, okay, friends, without any further ado, let's just start our discussion. So, yeah, that's the slide which I have, small slide presentation I have prepared. So, I'm sure a lot of you would have already seen his picture, read about him, but I will just give you a brief revision of him, a personality introduction of him. So, Vedamurti Devavrat Mahesh Rekhe is a 19-year-old Vedic scholar who has recently received national attention after completing one of the most difficult Vedic rituals, the Dandakrama Parayanam, a feat achieved after nearly 200 years. So, he instantly became known as India's youngest Vedic prodigy, a rare Madhyan Dina Shukla Yajurveda scholar, a symbol of the revival of traditional Vedic mastery. Now, he has been publicly congratulated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, chief ministers, and all. Now, about him, about this event which happened. So, he completed this Dandakrama Parayanam, which was done from October 2nd till November 30th. Duration was 50 days, and it involves a continuous uninterrupted recitation of 2000 mantras. So the historical significance of that is it was first successful It's the first successful completion in 200 years, and we have to be like mindful of his age as well, just at the young age of 19. So this ritual requires high memory power, obviously, stamina, purity rules, perfect pronunciation, and mastery of the swaras, intonation. It is usually performed only by the most advanced Vedic scholars. So that is the only reason, friends. Like mantras are very powerful, and I always recommend that if you're not very confident, so to be in that reverberation and energy and that vibration. So if you are not comfortable, although that is a different case, many Westerners they travel to India and they stay in some gurukul like in holy cities in India like Kashi, Vrindavan, Haridwar, Rishikesh, and they learn it first hand from the gurus. Like like I was like once surprised. I have in one of my pilgrimage have like listened to one of the Westerner talking fluently in Sanskrit as well. So I mean to say, because see, the thing is, you can do that. You can do that. Gods are very benevolent. They are very kind. But the power of the mantra to create result, manifest result, and that miracle, that process and that power of mantra might get delayed. So, for example, if you are doing the recitation in a purest form, the way it has been advised in the Vyakran, in the shlokas, and all. So, if you will do that in a precise way, I can assure you and I can guarantee you that result will come. But the thing is that the pronunciation, the ucharan, the recitation is always not very pure. So purity becomes very important. So yes, after this, friends, so his education and training. So he has undergone Gurukul style education, traditional oral Vedic training, mastery of Shukla Yajurveda, Swar Shastra, Vedic recitation, and ritualistic discipline. So many reports describe him as one of the youngest scholars to uphold the ancient oral Vedic tradition with such perfection. So, friends, now we will start the part which connects us or which like matters to us because we are astrology community. So, obviously, friends, I do not want to disrespect him because whole objective is to pay tribute and respect him, celebrate his achievement. So, I do not wanted to just take up some random date and then start talking about that it's his chart. I will not do that. And also his details, birth details have not been there in the internet anywhere. All what has been mentioned is that he's 19-year-old. So we will just look at the probable astrological alignments. So and again, friends, like people say that like Ketu transiting in the Leo, and especially if it is influencing your fifth house or the fifth lord, it's not a good sign for the progeny, for conception, delivery, planning a pregnancy. But again, even in this year, in the like in 2026, in the month of the November, when Jupiter Ketu will be briefly conjunct with Leo, so these are the times when these kind of prodigious souls are born. And see, the Vedic rituals and the knowledge of the Vedas is so deep that there have been those advisory which has been mentioned about this whole conception, right auspicious timings for that. The nakshatras is responsible for that. So if it is done accordingly, you will have a very enlightened and elevated level of soul which will come in your life with some good karmas. So, okay, friends, now we will just look at that the basic astrological guesswork. Speculative, but it's logical, especially if you are a student of astrology. So, friends, the very first thing is that the moon has to be extremely strong. So, unless and until, because moon is like your processor, unless and until moon is not strong and moon is not receptive towards that, it becomes very difficult. So, and otherwise, we have seen that some of the even enlightened, elevated level of gurus as well, who later on they become very much obsessed with either building many ashrams or very high ego and all for their knowledge and the status and the position. So I mean to say, looking at moon will tell you about the purity and the enlightened stage of the guru. So moon must be extremely strong. The likely placement of moon, it has to be. It's like a guesswork, speculative work. Moon in Pisces can give deep spiritual intuition. Moon in Sagittarius can give like interest in dharma plus scriptures. Moon in Cancer is a combination of strong memory and the purity. Moon in the fourth house or the ninth house, traditional learning. Moon in the Shravana Nakshatra, Punarvasu Nakshatra, Uttar Bhadrapada Nakshatra is a very strong supportive sign for these kind of feats achievements. So these placements they matter. Why? Because child level mastery of Vedas require phenomenal memory, mental purity, emotional stability, spiritual inclination. So such minds usually come from water signs or Jupiter ruled signs. So after Moon, friends, the next is about Jupiter. So Jupiter is very important. So Jupiter is extremely dominating in these kind of charts. So likely placement could be like Jupiter will definitely, you will find it to be in the trine houses in the Kal Purush Kundlis, like trine houses, first house, fifth house, or ninth house. Jupiter in the own sign. This is like a win-win situation. Being in the Sagittarius, being in the Pisces, or Jupiter in a exaltation state, like being in the Cancer, or Jupiter conjunct Moon, like Gaj Kesari Yoga. It's a classic scholarly yoga. And Jupiter, if it is placed in the Dhanishta Nakshatra, which is ruled by the Mars, Punarvasu Nakshatra, which is ruled by Jupiter in itself, or the Pur Bhadrapada Nakshatra as well, because it's Jupiter's own domain. So that will be very supportive. So now why it is important? So a 19-year-old performing a Madhyan Dina Shukla Yajurveda Dandakrama Pranam flawlessly for 50 days requires the divine blessing, scripture mastery, Guru Kripa, Dharma, compassion, spiritual maturity. Why you are doing this? So all of that cannot happen unless and until Jupiter is not supporting it. So that is the reason Jupiter becomes very important. Um, Now, friends, now when we talk about some other supportive signs, features, so you will see that the second lord, fifth lord, and Mercury must be very strong. So obviously, because second house is about your values, fifth house is about the pur punya. Your see, the one house of the mantras is the fifth house. So fifth house in itself tells about your interest, inclination in the mantras. So, and Mercury has to be also very strong. So this is critical because these three entities rule: second lord, fifth lord, and the Mercury, your speech, your memory, mantra precision, voice clarity, and scriptural recall. Now, the likely yogas which could be formed, this will reinforce this more. Budh Aditya Yoga, Mercury plus Sun, Mercury in Virgo, exaltation state, fifth Lord exalted or in the Kendra Trikona, and the Vani Siddhi combination. So we say that the blessing and the grace of the goddess Saraswati has to be there. Um, Now, friends, when we talk about Saturn, so anything to do with the sadhana, penance, discipline, meditation, Saturn has to be supportive for that. So generally, you will see that Saturn will be contributing and will be strong in the dharma houses in the chart of these scholarly enlightened people, chosen ones. So disciplined tapas for 50 days, Saturn must support because all the austerity, discipline, silence, routine, celibacy all comes from the planet Saturn. So the likely placement of the Saturn could be Saturn might be in the ninth house, which gives tapas and the Guru Seva, which is right now taking place for the Cancer rising right now in the transit because Saturn is transiting their ninth house. So if you get a chance to, like the way sometimes we say that, I've seen that. I actually, respect that a lot. I appreciate that a lot because I've not seen that much. I have not seen that much in the Hindu temples. The much I've seen that in the Gurudwaras, that you see that many people they are willing and ready to do the seva, like someone is taking care of the shoe section, someone is taking care of the of all the cleaning thing, all the water refreshment. So for the Cancer lagna right now, this is the best remedy for you. This is the best remedy because in your ninth house Saturn is transiting. So tapas and the Guru Seva, Saturn in the ninth house might be one, might he might have this kind of combination, or someone who is aligned in this direction has these kind of interest might have Saturn like this. Saturn in the first house, it gives like discipline right from the early childhood days. Saturn in the fifth or the sixth house, strict routine. Saturn in Pisces, Sagittarius, Virgo. So a weak Saturn cannot produce such a long commitment. And obviously, see, friends, it's not only about that. We are just seeing him because we know that any event, any performance, any ritual is your best performance. But before that, you would have been practicing that for how long? So that is what is we have to pay attention. That Saturn has to be strong. Saturn has to support it. Now, friends, sun becomes important. Anything with the Veda, the knowledge of the scriptures. So, unless and until sun is not strong, you will not be able to gain mastery over there. And somehow, I have this gut feel he might have the Atma Karaka planet, sun. Strong possibility. He might have sun as the Atma Karaka as well. So, Sun strong is equal to like the Vedic authority. Sun represents the Veda, Brahma Jnana, spiritual brilliance, recognition, the Guru lineage. So, likely combination in these kind of like enlightened people's chart. Sun might be in the ninth house, born in a dharmic family. Sun in the Leo or the Aries, natural brilliance. And see, when you walk around like this, so the true fame, you don't need to make a spectacle out of it, or you need to have many disciples, shishya, and too much of the charade to show your supremacy. It's just like that when a flower has a natural fragrance, it automatically comes, it automatically spreads. So that is what I'm saying, that if your sun is pure, sun is strong, your fame will automatically be there. Your aura is going to be automatically very strong, very mesmerizing. Like everyone is going to be hypnotized and affected, being blessed. So, Sun in the Leo or the Aries, natural brilliance. Sun and the Jupiter combination, the Guru Surya Yoga is considered as very good. He might have that in the chart. His Sun might be in the Uttara Falguni, Kritika, or the Magha Nakshatra. So, Uttara Falguni, like, is ruled by Sun in itself. Kritika is also ruled by Sun in itself. And Magha is like, we know that Magha is a Ketu energy of the prowess. So this mirrors the charts of many Vedic stalwarts. Now, friends, astrological like in the same guesswork sequence. So, what do you think would be the likely nakshatras involved? So lately, nakshatras out of the whole Panchang has become very popular, and nothing wrong in that. It's just like that. You cannot undermine the other limbs of the Panchang. So as much as nakshatra is important, tithi is also important. Yog, Karan, everything is equally important. So, but yeah, focusing on the nakshatra. So most likely, Punarvasu could be the Jupiter's nakshatra, which we have discussed in the previous slide for the Vedic wisdom. Shravan has to be there because anything which involves listening, memorizing. So Shravan is has got a league of its own. Uttar Bhadrapada, so the deep spiritual sadhana generally comes from the Uttar Bhadrapada. Pushya, the highest dharma frequency. So that is the only reason Pushya is considered as one of the best nakshatra. Dhanishta, so rhythm, enchanting, the sound, so recitation. For the sun, this could be the Kritika, purification of the fire. Uttara Falguni, dharma and the leadership. And for the moon, these could be one of the best combination based on the talent which has he has demonstrated, the blessing and the divinity which has worked through him. So Revati has that potential and power. Pur Bhadrapada, because it has the Jupiterian energy. Pur Bhadrapada is dark, but if controlled, so Pur Bhadrapada carries the power of that Jupiter. And the Shravan. So any of these beautifully align with his abilities. And friends, when we talk about the past life karma, so we have to see, because at this young age, if you are displaying these kind of talents, so that means something your soul has earned, and it is just displaying the same. It's the uninterrupted journey from the past many lifetimes, the merits which you have earned. So his ability at 19 suggests strong Ketu for sure. Likely in the 12th house. So past life spiritual mastery. Uh, it could be in the ninth as well. Past life Vedic priesthood, or Ketu in the second house. So continuation of the mantras. Rahu, obviously, we cannot look Ketu individually. So when we talk about Rahu, Rahu in the sixth or the tenth gives a massive recognition, because we say that many scholars, after gaining this level of brilliance and illumination, some of them even go to the Himalayas, to the mountains. They don't want to indulge in any more exchange of the karmas, and they just want to be in the mode of the God realization in isolation. But obviously, if Rahu Ketu axis is strong, it will bring fame and attention to you. So Rahu might be in the sixth or the tenth for the massive recognition, sudden rise, defeating the obstacles. So such souls do not begin learning in this lifetime, they continue from the previous births as well. And likely yogas, friends, the last slide. So the here some of the yogas which he must have in his chart, must have for sure. Gaj Kesri yoga, one of the best yoga. Combination of the moon and the Jupiter. The Brahma Gyan yoga, high intellect and the spiritual devotion. Dharma Karma Dipati yoga, dharmic achievements. Buddha Aditya yoga, brilliance in the recitation. Shash yoga means Saturn being in the Capricorn, Aquarius, even in Libra in the Kendra Bhava, strong willpower. Vani Siddhi yoga, mantra mastery. Guru Chandra or Guru Aditya, like Jupiter Moon, which we have discussed, Gaj Kesri, or the Jupiter Sun, blessing of the Guru lineage. So, and we generally say, friends, like the theme, the axis. So he most likely has Pisces and the Sagittarius influence, which is responsible for the Vedic knowledge. Cancer and the Leo influence for the memory and the voice. Virgo influence, perfection in the details. Ninth house emphasis for the gurus and the rituals. Strong Jupiter and the strong moon, which is obviously the strongest requirement. So yes, friends, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. Yeah, once again, thanks a lot for watching this video.